Good morning and welcome to this week's coffee vlog on Friday the 21st of August. And yes, it is summer, apparently. You wouldn't notice, would you? It's been another soaking week this week, interspersed with a few little brighter periods, but on the whole really quite miserable for summer, and it'll soon be back to school time, so not been that great for all the holiday little ones getting out and about. Hope the weather picks up next week, because I can do with having a few more days off to do something, but we shall wait and see. So it's Friday morning this week, having a bit of a change in the morning one, also just to give a change of route, because I'm going to work via Brighouse, and I've got a little job to do there, so I thought there's an opportunity to give you a different view again, just for a change. Did upload a different route on I think it was Monday. Is it Monday? Might be Monday. Yeah, because it was my Monday morning run to work. Had the awesome idea that you could listen to one of the Apple Music crafted playlists by the Apple Music experts. A crafted playlist which was driving to dubstep. It actually wasn't bad. It was quite a good playlist. There was some good sort of tracks on there. Unfortunately, it succumbed within seconds of being uploaded to the copyright trolls. So the overbearing copyright assistant bot almost immediately said, "You cannot monetize this video," in an email to me, because it may contain copyright content. I was like, well, I don't want to monetize it anyway, just video me driving to work, I don't care. And then a few seconds later, your video has been muted because it holds copyright content for the copyright holder EKM, I think it was, Summer. Which is quite true, because Summer by Calvin Harris was the first track that was playing, a dubstep remix of it, obviously. So yes, that kind of turned it into a silent movie of me driving to work, which I'm sure was entertaining if anyone fancied watching me drive to work silently. You put your own music on, do your own car brum brum noises to it, or whatever you fancy, really. Anyway, so this one hopefully won't get done for copyright if I don't do any singing. I mentioned summer actually, so maybe that'll knock it out completely. God, one day get out of here. Go for it. So yes, what's been happening? Busy week, really busy week. Being summer, holidays period, isn't it? So we've been short on staff this week. I'm going to try and cover all bases in one go, which is always fun. In fact, on Wednesday we were down to 50% staff levels, which didn't go as bad as it could have done, really, because that's a bit of a disaster, because there's sort of less of us to answer 4 phone lines, which is not fun at sometimes, especially when you get some right crank calls. And then also that was take in stock, but fortunately not had to order too much this week. Had kind of organised, shock horror, myself, so there wasn't a great deal coming in this week, knowing that there wasn't going to be enough people about to deal with it, and then sending stuff out, and it's actually not been too bad a week for that either, for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm not arguing. It went quite well, but yes, not ideal when you're short on people, because you know, you have the people there to pay them because you have stuff for them to do. So when they're not there, there's obviously the stuff to do, but they aren't there, and you've got to fill it in somehow. It works all right. It just means that stuff that I would do, I haven't done, or I could do with doing. And you just do the important stuff, which is getting the stuff people are paid for to them, and making sure you have more of the stuff that they want to pay for in place once it's gone. iCarbon stuff also came in Monday, a big delivery, which is good. Much as I berate the Amazon selling site, it certainly does shift stuff, lots of stuff. It's a pain to deal with, and say the contact system for people who bought stuff is pretty much atrocious. Seems to work perfectly if they want to complain, but if you're just trying to contact them generally to tell them stuff, then they just somehow don't get any of the messages you send them. You know, order something, oh, it's going to be a little bit delayed. Then when it hasn't arrived, why hasn't it arrived? I said it was going to be delayed. No, it didn't. It did. So yeah, not ideal, but anyway, it's a big load of iCarbons came in. The most popular thing by far, Amazon-wise, is MacBook skins. MacBook Pro, 15 and 13 inch in standard and Retina. A little bit of the Airs, but merely the Pro seems to be the main thing. And pretty much exclusively in black. Which is causing me a little bit of an issue, because obviously when people are constantly ordering black, it means I'm constantly having to order more rings. You only have so much stock of the colours you know are going to sell, and then like I say, it keeps getting bought up, and then I have to get more in again. Not that getting more in isn't the problem, but it takes a while because I need to order a lot of stuff to make it worthwhile spending the money from America, and of course then iCarbon's going to produce the stuff as well, so it can take a little bit longer than I'd like. But anyway, so all that came in, all that shipped out again, and it's all good stuff. They've got some nice new skins, iCarbons, the Rally Stripe and Rally Sleek ones, which is like a combination of colours you can choose, but they've got like diagonal stripes for the stripe, obviously, and the Sleek one is like a centre stripe, and yeah, they look really good, and they're going to do the MacBooks in those as well, which they'll look pretty awesome as well when they're done. And it's something a bit different, a bit unique as well, because I think some of the two-tone skins are pretty much unique to them, but the sort of standard back skins now seems to be a lot of other people popping up across. Even in the UK, there's people starting to do those now, so it's getting a little bit harder to push the stuff out, but otherwise it's going well. Now normally on these, the days after I've done a vlog, I think, oh, I was going to talk about this and that and the other, and then of course when I actually do it now, I've just like can't remember, so that's why I do cheat sheets, but I've forgotten again to do that, so I'm gonna have to wing it again. So let's see what else I've been thinking about. Windows 10, I never really gone on to this last week. So the recap, I've done a few upgrade installs on Windows 7 machines. On the whole, it's gone pretty good. Seems to be working all right, the upgrade's working all right. I have found a little bit of a bug with upgrading, especially from Windows 7. Probably wouldn't affect Windows 8 so much. So obviously with a developer build, it uses my Windows account thingy for the user accounts on Windows 10, and that kind of links everything in your OneDrive and all the other stuff. And basically, when you upgrade from Windows 7, of course, Windows 7 is just a standard user account. It's not using your live account. So you log in, or have your account login name or whatever for Windows 7. So then you upgrade it to Windows 10 and it retains that just login name. So then you have to change to your Windows live account or whatever else. But this causes a bit of an issue, because when you do that, although your sort of Windows account is still an administrator account, the previous account is the only one that seems to have any sort of administration rights on anything. So you start trying to put things in different places that are kind of protected. And in fact, I even had trouble with the OneDrive drive. It starts saying it's either read only or you can't access that network drive or whatever. And I was like, oh, what? So you have to go in to the properties and then security and then add your Windows Live username and give it access to all the folders that you want to put stuff in that it tells you can't put it in, which is a bit of a ball ache, to be honest. So I wasn't totally impressed with that, but I suppose that's just a limitation of it. I mean, to be fair, I didn't use my I don't even know if I could use, I don't know if using the Windows Live name for the Windows 7 login name would make a scrap of difference. It probably wouldn't, actually. No, I don't think it would do. So yeah, that is a bit of a problem if you're upgrading. If you're upgrading from 8, it shouldn't be an issue, because I think that already has you logged in with your sort of Windows Live account. So sort of one thing to look out for. Like I say, you can get around it. You just need to go into the properties for each folder that you need to change, and then you go into the security section, and then you need to add in, but you do add, and then you've got to actually type in manually your live email address, and then it auto fills that that's the account you need to add, and then you do that, and then tick all the boxes to make sure you can do all the things you want to do with it, and that's it. It does it. It'll grant you access to the folder, and you can add things willy-nilly as you need. So it could be that most people wouldn't come across that anyway, because I was delving about in program files trying to move different programs across manually. Got little odds and ends there that I need to move. So but on the whole, other than that, it runs fine. I mean, Blazes on the MacBook Pro in a VM, which also Parallels updated their VM kindly this week with new El Capitan and Windows 10 support. So that was throw more money at Parallels for that, but it's always worth it because the software is really good, and they do, because they do these paid upgrades, you can just stick with the last one and just mudge by. But I was finding a few bugs, funny enough, with El Capitan. Whenever I got an email notification, the VM would just stick, well, not the VM itself, I mentioned just the display of the VM would stay stuck until the notification went again. So you'd be trying to do something and you'd be like, oh, I've got to wait now. That was quite annoying. And then with Windows 10, sometimes when it started up, it would just stay on a black screen. I wouldn't get anything, and then I'd have to force stop the VM and start again. So there's a few bugs, so I wasn't that bothered about paying the £30 upgrade, which has completely got rid of all those. So it made it a much better experience. So yeah, it runs fine on that. On the sort of, I think it's an Intel Atom netbook I've got that's got a touch screen that I added in. That's from the days before things had touch screens in them, and I manually put one in. That one is a little bit more chuggy. I mean, it's only got 2 gig of RAM, and like I say, it's only a little Intel Atom. It was only ever designed as a little netbook processor. Standard, I think it's 500 gigabyte spinning disk hard drive, so that's a bit, let's slow it down as well. So it is a bit chuggy. That it's probably more chuggy than Windows 7 was, I'd say, but it still works alright. I mean, I don't use that for a great deal of stuff. Most of the time I'm doing that through LogMe in remote access anyway. I don't interact with it that much directly. So but otherwise, yeah, it's not so bad. So Windows 10 on the whole does seem like Microsoft have managed to pull off something half decent. Congratulations. And it all seems to be running quite well. No new betas this week, unless we're going to get Saturday night beta, maybe. We have had El Capitan, a minor update to that. Didn't see a great deal of information about what it improved or anything else. Seems to have improved mail a little bit, I've got to be honest, because I was having, the last beta seemed to introduce issues to mail that I hadn't had previously. It's not always a great thing, but they are now gone completely. So yeah, they seem to have done some improvements to mail. Other than that, I've got to admit, El Capitan on the whole has been very good from start out, and not really had any problems at all. You know, the odd niggle, but you expect that with beta software, don't you? But other than that, yeah, it's been alright. So brief pause while I'm just trying to negotiate the nightmare that is this road. So yeah, on the whole, El Capitan on for release. It'll be a good upgrade, I think. Yeah, everyone it just should come out, update to it, and everything will be hunky-dory, and all your stuff will work quite merrily with it. And you know, what you should get in the main benefits is faster running on your hardware, and if you use battery a lot, then it's going to run a lot longer on the battery, because you know, they've done a lot of enhancements in the back end of it to be more energy efficient, so everything runs more smoothly. So yeah, that should be good when it comes out. Not really sure when the release is going to be yet. We should have this iPhone announcement date. Not really checked up on that. Right, I shall leave you for a while, and then we'll get the run into Halifax shortly. Okie doke. I'm back. So, as I was saying, El Capitan should really be a pretty good upgrade. You're not going to see a huge amount of difference. They have finally, this is just what you need, isn't it? Marvellous. They've finally got rid of dashboard. So not really sure where he's going now. Yes. Oh, what? Where are you going to? Right, let's go for the... He's in the way, so we'll go up the hill instead then. Not gonna make me any more happy of a morning. Right, come on woman, do something to get out of the way. That's not actually getting out of the way much, is it? And we're going the other way. Marvellous. Just marvellous. So, after that brief interruption, which has completely ruined my train of thought, El Capitan should be very good, and it should be a relatively simple, just install over the top and everything will work. Of course it will. Don't come back to me if it doesn't though. I got rid of dashboard finally. There wasn't much use really, and there's a lot more you can put in notification center now and get more use out of that, which is it sat there on the side, swipe across to it. Notifications, as in iOS 9, are now grouped on a daily basis, although I think you can meddle about with that anyway. But they're grouped on a daily basis, so that's makes a lot more sense to me. It used to be by sort of app or notification type or whatever else, and you tend to get ones that just lost way down the bottom, even though they were newer ones, as it were. So we've got that, and yeah, you can put stuff in to notification. I've got now, because I used to use in dashboard a lot, a currency converter, because you do have to deal a lot with prices of stuff in euros and obviously in dollars for the iCarbon, so currency converter was always handy. I always use dashboard for that, but I found one with a notification center plug-in now, and it also has a plug-in at the taskbar at the top, the menu bar as well, so that's quite good. And then I need to find out if iStat menus, which really is one of my favourite apps that sits in the menu bar at the top, I need to find out if that is still functioning or not, because El Capitan, the first beta, it wasn't working in. I know they were going to work on updating it, but I don't know how far they got to that yet. Obviously they're not really going to rush until pretty much the release date, but could do with just finding out. But I found that there was there's an iStat widget instead you can put in into your notifications center, and that gives you some of the information. It's not as much, to be fair, as the menus one does, but it just gives you a bit of an idea what's going on. I've missed the temps really, and fan speed, although generally I can figure out when the fan's going fast because it's going at me. So yeah, that's pretty much top and the bottom of it for that. Now onto iOS 9 and the Apple Watch. Say no beta this week, and I think it should have been due really, but they seem to have gone completely random this year, or for iOS 9. Normally they were kind of regular as clockwork on a Monday or a Tuesday night, but it just seems to be whenever they fancy popping one out they do it nowadays. But on the whole, yeah, it's been running really well. I've had sort of 2 weeks on iOS 9 beta 5, and that seems really as stable as anything. They must be getting close to that point of having, you know, a releasable OS running to the public. So maybe a few little tweaks here and there, but on the whole, yeah, it's all swimming along nicely. Battery life seems to be still very, very good on the whole. We've both on the phone seems to be pretty good, and I'll get a good amount of usage out of it, and still have plenty of life left. And also the watch is generally, yeah, I mean, that's some epic battery life. I think the other day it did from 7 AM to it was like 3:30. No, well, one was 3:30, and that was at 38% in the morning. That was another one where I woke up and remembered I hadn't put my watch on charge. And then I actually did, I woke up at 6:30. It was like 6:20 actually, I think, and I'd just kept it on. I was like, oh no, that's going to be a bit of a pain, because I'm only going to have an hour to charge it with, and because it's supposed to really have 2 hours to full charge. Well, that's what they say anyway. I've never really sat and watched it. Watch the watch. It's a good one, isn't it? So I had like an hour, so I put it on, and then it was only at like 35%. So it done really well then, because that was 35% from like 7 AM the previous day, and it had, you know, it's still got 35% left at 6:30 in the morning. So it was nearly 24 hours later, and it's still got 35 odd percent. But it actually, between that 6:20 and 7:30, when I did eventually take it off to put it on, it got up to 100%. So also the charge time isn't as long. I mean, admittedly it wasn't dead flat, it was at 35%, but it still managed to charge in just about an hour up to full. You'd think if they say 2 hours from dead, then, you know, 50% should take an hour, and it did like 65 or so, so that's not so bad. Still never quite going to get to the point where you can use it on a daily, well, 2 daily basis or whatever else. I don't know, maybe if you didn't have so many notifications, whatever else, you get away with it, but don't know. Also, with the Apple Watch, I don't know if anyone saw or noticed or cared even, but a jailbreak developer, a well-known jailbreak developer anyway, Hamza Snood, is it Snood or Sood? I never remember which of those it is. Demonstrated a video of him running his own watch face in Apple's watch face picker, which is quite a big deal really, because Apple have said that there will be no custom watch faces for the Apple Watch. You can just have Apple set ones, which there is a lot of set ones already, and obviously you can change the colours. The ones with complications, there will be third-party complications, so you can have different complications for like your own, well, not your own, but apps that sort of give them. Obviously there's now the photos based one, which gives quite a lot of customization, because you can just have a background of your own photo along with the time, date. There's not a lot more you can add on to that. That's my only kind of gripe with that one. I like the photos one, but you just have the time and date, and it'd be nice to have a few more things that you could put on or move into different areas of the picture. Just that would make it a little bit better, because it's kind of a bit bland. And likewise with the forget what they call it now, time-lapse faces, with those as well, same sort of thing. It's only got the time and date, so although I quite like having it on for a change, it's kind of, the photos and the time-lapse tend to be a weekend one, because I don't really need to know the date, and I think they do have the date on still, but there's other bits of information on the some of the other faces that I prefer just having that there to glance at. So yeah, anyway, so the big deal is Hamza has managed to put together some code and then get the watch face choosing app that is part of the Apple Watch operating system to load that into it, and yeah, run his own face. So it got a face that was animated images, so it was just running through a series of images to give an animation, but you could actually go in and use their Apple's own picker to choose the background colours, and then it would cycle through them at various speeds. So I mean, that's quite good if it's going to be possible to do. Obviously he's kind of hacked it. He provided the Xcode files, which I had a look at, but he doesn't really say how he got the watch face picker, which is called, actually an app called Carousel, on the watch. He hasn't said how he managed to get the DY library to get Carousel to run it, so it installed itself. So maybe we'll find out out about that in the future. Obviously with iOS 9, the other thing is you can sideload your apps for your own devices even if you don't have a developer account. So that's going to be interesting for people, because obviously you can kind of add in apps that Apple don't currently allow in the App Store that are available. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, I mean, I don't know, will that affect piracy possibly? Because I mean, at the moment, you know, there's a lot of services that will you get your UDID registered for your device on a developer account, and then you get a provisioning profile, and then that lets you install any sort of app that is linked to the provisioning profile, and it kind of gets round the security on iOS by effectively pretending any app that's been installed is by the person providing the provisioning profile for testing purposes. So obviously that then bypasses any sort of app can be installed, whatever it is. Which, I mean, on the whole, it's very handy if you want to put Movie Box on iOS. But obviously it also leaves it open to, there's all sorts on there of apps that can get re-signed to be installed. Now, obviously there's a good chance that this side loading will kind of kill the market that is selling off UDID slots, which I think always did pee Apple off completely, but they never managed to stamp it out, because as soon as they shut down one developer account for doing it, the person just creates another one, another different one with a different Apple ID, and starts all over again. So but with this sort of ability to side load, effectively you can sort of do that yourself, I would have thought. Not that I'm that hot on the programming side of things, but it'd be interesting to see anyway. So all exciting stuff. Movie news this week. Been watching some bits, part of, or all of some films. Fantastic Four, managed to watch all of that, and I thought it was good actually. There's been a lot of poor reviews on it, so and you kind of then like, oh well, everyone's it's a bit rubbish. I thought I'll put it on and see what it's like, and I thought it was quite good. My only gripe is it took a very long time to get to the Fantastic Four. It's been far too long setting the scene and then going through how the four sort of got together and became fantastic, which then left not very much time for them being fantastic, and sort of the sort of bit of that, and then it sort of leads off that they go off together at the end. So I think what's probably been done is it's a case of, right, we're going to set the scene for this and make it, you know, leave it so we've got room for doing subsequent movies. So now we've set the starting points and we know how they got together, why they're fantastic, and then we're going to have subsequent movies where they're being fantastic and doing fantastic things and saving the world and whatever else. So it does seem like they've kind of left it open in that case for doing subsequent movies. Obviously the downside of that theory is if everyone slates the movie because they think it's taken too long to actually get to any fantasticness, then you're not going to generate the revenue from it, and you probably aren't going to do any more because it didn't actually pay the bills. So hopefully there will be more, because I thought it was quite good. I quite like the actors that play the four. They seem to come together well, and generally, you know, it looked good. All the you know, all the graphics and whatever else, special effects were good. So yeah, it was an alright film. It's worth worth taking a look at if you want to. Had a bit of a look at the new Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I have to confess I fell asleep though. Not that it was boring as such, but just I was tired. So yeah, that looks quite good. I'll probably reserve review until I've actually watched all of it. But yeah, that looks pretty good. In fact, there's a whole rash of films appeared all of a sudden. Man from U.N.C.L.'s out there. I'd not even heard that was coming out. And obviously used to watch that in my youth. So try not to run the people over. That's good. I'd like to see that again. What else was it? Straight Out of Compton. Yeah, that was a bit of a wow. So yeah, I might watch that as well, because I do remember that as well from a long time ago. They seem to be doing a lot of remakes and things at the moment. So yeah, that's about it. Game wise, Lego Batman has always been going on this week. Oh, there was a new Lego movie come out as well. Lego Justice League and the League of Doom, a new one with all the favourite Marvel Lego characters. So yeah, little lad was dead excited on that one. So we've been watching that pretty much incessantly while playing Lego games, which now extends to Lego Batman 2, Lego Batman 3, Lego Marvel Superheroes, and then the Lego Batman game from the PSP days, because his friend's got it on his PSP. So he's got the Vita. I'm like, well, these ones you've got, Batman 2, Batman 3, are better. No, he's got more things in it, doing more things. So I had to buy the PSP version on the PlayStation Store or the Vita for him, because of course, although you can download the games and they're compatible if you buy them on the store, you can't obviously buy the game second hand and put it in the Vita, which it'd be good if you could, because I wouldn't have had to pay so much for an old game. But that's good. He enjoyed playing it, so it keeps him a bit amused when it's wet. So there you are. Anyway, so that's me done. Two-parter, quite a long one, so expect it to take all weekend to upload. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch you next week when I'll probably plan this a bit better. I keep saying that.